Alright, so what we'd like to probably try to do here is now scale these things up. And possibly I'll want to scale it down. Definitely I want to center on the dude, who's right now an @ sign. We'll turn him into a dot soon. So that while we're walking around, let's see if this will let me walk around. So that while we're walking around, we're going to focus on him. So this map is going to be much larger. And when we focus on our dude, we'll just keep him in the center and we'll be able to walk around one of these larger maps, right? So let's see. Remember where we send the map in the create map guy here? I think I only have 1 and 4 right now. Whatever it's doing, it takes a long time. Okay, now that's really interesting. Oh, I must have scaled the 4. Okay, so where was that? Okay, so number is size of dude. Okay, so that's exactly the thing we're going to change in a second. I already have a little bit of that code in just at the end of last time because I knew where I was going to go. Let's go here. And that might break. Okay, it doesn't break. There he is. So this is a much larger dungeon. The issue here is that I go off the edge, right? So once I go off the edge, I can't see myself. And so we have to work with that somehow. The easiest way to do that is to center on the @ center on the dude, and walk around on that. Right now, I think this map here is too small. We're going to have to change that map so that it has the right dimensions. All right, so let's see. So that's what we want to do is we want to center on the dude. Let's see, somewhere in here for the map, we do a game view board. Where is game view board? Is that hard coded into the board right now? Since we haven't looked at it for quite a while. So this is really the viewing area, right? That's the viewing area that we want to look at. So let's see. So we need a size 800 by 600 and an area. And a scale which is equal to 1 right now. The viewing area should stay the same. This should be the size of the entire board. Size, map area. Let's see. Number of squares, side to side. Is that so? Yeah. Scale, number of pixels per side of a square. And area is the view area. Self view equals area. Self.x times equals scale. Self.y times equals scale. The thing I'm worried about here is that this doesn't talk to the viewer. But the map does, okay? Actually, this all right. I mean, I'm worried that I'm going to have to do some other things, but this is fine for now. Scale is 25. Map dot set viewer map dot get board dot set viewer. Self. What is he? Got our viewer here in main. Where are my subscribes? Okay. Okay, this unfortunately is where this should happen. The issue I have, though, is that what happens with the transition when we change levels. We'll have to somehow send something in control so that when we change levels, it will change things. Actually, that's fine. They're probably like when it quits, it should send something back here. So we change the self game state, for example. So we'll have to somewhere in control change things later on, and then our control set, our set of controls, will change based on that, as well as the game state. But another thing that'll change is we'll change the map when we come up here. All sorts of other things have to be done in here. For example, player generation, right? Stuff like that. The model should be fine. Let's see. Okay, map, get board, set viewer. Okay, so def set viewer self viewer. And actually, we will probably not let this. Let's see if I can get away with not initiating the board there. And we'll initiate this. We'll do self x self.y here. Oh no, just x and y. Because when this is initialized, the scale doesn't show up, but scale equals self dot viewer dot get scale. Okay, so I wonder where okay, so that is probably fine. That is probably fine. It'll take whatever this size is. Let's say 35, and do whatever with it. But we need map to get a get board. Okay. So let's see how bad that is. Ah, good, good, good. So that wants me to use this to figure out what's going on. But possibly before, so we'll go to MapMaker for that. So the map is going to get created in the MapMaker. I'm not doing that in here any longer because I had those problems. I don't really want to modify the MapMaker because I think I might have to make another thing here for utilities. It would be better than to shove the MapMaker in the model like I have done. So self-map in the MapMaker is not a map. It's here that he creates the map, right? Right there. All right. See, this would be so much easier if they were in different classes. The MacGuffin, I take that out. I need that to sort of use later. So when I create the map, I'm not giving it anything interesting. Let's see, add squares, add room. Oh, actually, now we can do a size equals. We know what size the whole thing is. And 35, 30, 25, 25, it doesn't matter. So it says it's a 25 by 25 square map, but it's not a 25 by 25 square map because of what we've done down here. And then the board needs the size and possibly the area, not really the area, because I'm going to leave that the same. So then the board needs the size here. Where does that break? Viewer instance has no get scale. All right. Viewer has a scale. It doesn't have a get scale, but it needs to be able to pass the scale. So def, because the viewer controls the scale. So what else did I forget? Okay, so x comma y equals self x times scale comma self y times scale. Okay, so what did I do that turned self-board into a tuple? Okay, so here it's a game view board size. Okay, so I'm not passing back anything except this thing. I don't like it when it doesn't make sense what's happened. Okay, these I don't like, but I've got them anyway. Add occupant, remove occupant, add square, get board. So did I put... So this tells me that board is a class. So maybe view. Oh, this should be view area. Okay. Okay. So as much as I hate it, that's right. And I can't figure out where the little that guy is, so that doesn't matter. All right. That print statement is going to slow things down significantly, so we'll try to ignore it for now. Get rid of that. So we're all right. We're okay. Now the game view is subscribed to the player and to the map. So that's good. So we should be able to get the relative position. All right, so when this calls the gets the map from self map view. All right. That scale probably doesn't go on there unless, yeah, that scale might not be important. If it's drawing the entire map every time, then we might change things a little bit. Let's see. Then self. Then viewer equals let's see. So let's look at self map view. Probably I don't want to have, so the self map just sends me this thing, right? So the map is whatever I've drawn on the board. Actually, right now this is sort of redundant. It's sending me everything on the map that's sent to the board. So, but that's not changing right now because we don't have any line of sight rules or anything like that. But later on we will, so we'll have to modify this in some way, and probably and hopefully do that in such a way that it takes less time, because this is going to take a lot of time to move around soon. Unfortunately, it's the viewer that has, is it the viewer or the board? The board has the view area in it. Okay, so the board doesn't need to know the view area. Okay, so we have a center and a size. This is actually the view area. But this gets called by this guy who has neither a center nor a size. And the viewer has that, so he knows the viewer. So size equals self.viewer.getSize. Center equals self.viewer.getCenter. Okay. Maybe not center. Let's say def get size. Self return self area. View area. Returns the view area. The area of the active map, or whatever that I should call that. I'm not sure what I should call that. I'll go back to view area for this. Def get center self return xy. So xy equals player dot get position. X times equals scale, y times equals scale, and x plus equals scale over 2, y plus equals scale over 2. That probably doesn't. Return xy, that'll probably be fine. So then what we need is self.out equals pg surface size. This is the view area. And self.out convert, and then I don't think we need to fill the board. Self.board.blit. I think that's the right way to do it. Let me go up here. Self-screen blit. I want to blit on the board. Self-board xy. So now we have to calculate xy here, right? X equals self.center just center 0 minus size 0. No. Size 0 minus center 0. I don't like this. I should have thought about this before, even though it's something I've done 1,000 times, because I feel like I'm not going to get a good thing. And so I need an out. All right, let's see what we get. Error. Oh. The viewer does subscribe to the player. And the player knows where he is. He does if we remember our parentheses. Okay, so it's obviously doing what it's supposed to do. Though it's going slow. Okay. Uh-oh. Let's see. So that's working, except I'm giving it the wrong spot. Actually, I'm probably thinking about it, just need to do this. No, I need something that has to do with the size somewhere. Okay, so there. So I need to. Oh, I need the size of half the size of the viewer, not half the size of the thing. So you can see my little guy here. Somehow I got this too small. So where is it? Oh no, that was right. What? Right? Let's see. Okay, so there's my dude, right in the center of whatever that is. That's good. So, to be honest, I don't know what the difference is between what I did before and what I'm doing now. Maybe it was the full size. I did not half, but I thought it was half. Okay, this is taking way too long. I'm not sure what happened. I didn't do anything here that... Okay, there it is. I mean, that's fine. We're able to walk around in this dungeon. The only issue is that I need to be able to move the center down. Right? And I moved it right this way. Down should be this. That should be exactly the same. So that should not do anything bad to the program, right? PG draw rect. self screen, comma 280, comma self view area. It's actually probably not what I want. I probably want xy equals self dot view area, x plus equals 1, y equals 1, 2, and let's make it even 4. It's just a little bit bigger. 198, 78, XY. I'm just making a rectangle around where the box should be, hopefully. Do I not remember how to put a rect in there? Absolutely not. BG draw rect, what we want to go on, color, these two things, okay, as a pair there. Okay. Okay, so somehow, for some reason that pushed it the wrong direction. Plus push it in the correct direction for one of them, minus in the other. That's kind of what I was guessing. That doesn't make any sense, but we live in a world governed by Python, not by sense. So probably we're fine, but why would... That makes sense, right? Where is the center of the dot? It's halfway along. It's the number of tiles along, then plus 1/2. So that makes sense. Why didn't that change anything? It was... That's a different number, right? Oh, that needs a scale. Okay. Scale equals self.viewer.get scale. So I should see one, not see the other. No. It doesn't make sense. That's the view area, right? This is the view area. Again. Now, what I was doing, I didn't do anything that would change that. Did I? Okay, so I need to run this again because I've had this exact formula in there before and it seemed to be fine. I dislike the fact that there's no 0 on that particular square. Okay. All right. Where am I? Okay, we're going to run it one more time. Okay, that looks fine. I don't know why it's not producing that thing. Possibly it's overwriting something. We'll have to figure that out later. Okay, so let's go to where we make our map. We really want the 4 there. Oh, it's making the 4, but it's not. It doesn't have the thing to make the 3. Is that what's going on? So it creates the map. Wasn't that something where we were saying we wanted to do something? Uh-oh. Is that it? I didn't. Give an actual size. X equals self x times, what did I call it? It's room. N m y equals self y times n if scale equals 1 self scale zones equals 1 mn equals 1 1 L if self zones equals 4 mn equals 2 2. And then here I do xy. That makes no sense. Oh. That looks like a big number, but it might not be, right? Because it's 25 per thing, right? Let's see if we can get this back to having the guy at the corner, right? is the problem? See, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to push the map away. Print viewer size set viewer comma XY. Okay, that's how big we're making the stupid map, right? This is going through and drawing stuff on the map. We know that works. Right, we're blitting something onto the board. Here we're blitting the board onto out, but we're pushing it out some direction. Okay, so let's see how big this thing thinks. This thing, it's the whole thing is 875 by 875. Okay, we can deal with that. That sounds like it's not getting the message. 875 divided by 25 is 35. So it should be 4 times that size. Okay? So that's what we're starting out with. This guy should be 4 times that size. I'm going to hard code it because I'm not really sure what to do at this point. Okay, so now we're back at the corner. Right, there's a little bit of an @ sign right over here. So now we want to push this this way. We want to add in the size 0, which is what we had. Right, so plus size 0 over 2. Do it one at a time. So the board wasn't big enough to put on all the stuff. So now we've got that guy there. And let's see. Don't want to do anything with that right yet. Again, this should, if the world is a sensible, reasonable place, push this down so that we end up in the middle of our view area. Except for some reason, this, what I've done is has. Okay. All right, this guy needs, that's one thing, the map has to not extend all that way. All right, now we've got a nice reasonably complex dungeon to wander around in. We have to make sure that this guy only spawns in this room, right? We'll do that by making sort of a dungeon entrance later on. And then he'll spawn next to the dungeon entrance. Or in the dungeon entrance, that would be fine too. As long as he can't go back onto it. Okay, so at least we've centered the guy. So we've centered on the @ sign. I don't know if I want the tile templates, because I don't have a door to do that. And we want to change the room size with the base monster. So come up to model, and this is where we see how much I've broken things. Let's change that to 2 and see how ugly it gets. Okay, so it's doing is it doing the right thing, or is it just doing kind of the right thing? It's just doing kind of the right thing. Okay, because it's overwriting the stuff. And now we really have to do something to speed that up, because it's drawing all those little tiles. So we have to figure out a way to draw all the little tiles and not worry about it. One thing is not to draw the tiles for the entire level, right? So this is 4 times as many tiles, even though that guy's the same size. I guess in the MapMaker, when we do our map, we don't change the MapMaker class, remember that. So we're going to have to go back and do things for that. Let's see. So we've done this X and Y, made the map that large. We also need the scale, right? So we've made the map with the scale. Okay, I'm going to have to go. Okay, so imprint map scale. So it should scale up. Do I still have that running? No. But it's not. It's just adding another spot here. That means I have a lot of overwritten spots. So like if I come here, oh, it's still in a. Yeah, this is way too slow. I think that's another issue that I've seen previously. Let's go down. Okay, so it is getting to the end of the map, though. Okay, rooms, place rooms, and place corridors, connect zones. Space imprint map scale. Scale times. Scale times. The position on the map. Go through and do one for each. That makes sense. Okay, that all makes sense. I do need to do this. Print map scale. No, scale is now 2, right? Maybe that's not a good idea. I like the idea of scaling that up, but this always kind of annoys me. So it is doing the right scale. There is the question, of course, that whether or not it's off the map again, right? So where did I fix that before? Making map at the right scale. So the MapMaker, it's these things. This gets a scale of 2. Come over here. Okay, that's the different scale. Okay, 1750, 1750. Let's see if that changes. No, so the viewer size isn't changing, and that's the issue. So we have to find a way to change that viewer size. Oh, that's... Okay. Okay, so we already made the map. We'll go to the self map, make map 2. This is a make map maker. This is before the viewer, right? Okay, so let's see. Where does it get the board? Okay, so we make the map and it makes the board. So the size is this thing, so it comes when we make the map, which is down here. So we make the map, and so the map should have much larger size. So print map size XY. And 40 by 140. Actually, we don't need to do anything more for this. This is very inefficient, whatever I'm doing. But it's still cutting off. See that? Got it, so that cut off again. So let's go back up here. Did I move that back to 2? Yes. So it's definitely cutting off. So if I change this, Map size goes to 75-75. Should only be 70-70. 75-75 is fine, but because it's bigger than what I need. $70-70. Okay, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. No, it does make sense. Okay, that's perfectly fine. All right. So we send it to MapMaker. It eventually makes a viewer. Makes a board that's too small. Okay, so the map size is fine. Okay, so why does the board not change size? Oh wait. This is the size of, this is not the right place for the scaling, right? No, that's fine here, right? That is good. It makes the map of the larger size. These guys have nothing to do with the map though, right? I don't think that has anything to do with the map. What are X and Y used for? Just for this thing. You note, turn it into self M, self N, decided on generation. Okay. I don't think that'll break anything. Map size should be fine. I should not run out of map. I just run out of viewer. Okay, where do I make my board? I'm in MapMaker again, okay. So game view gets the size of the map. Oop, what was that? Game view board. The board gets the size of the map. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. Right, game view gets the size of the map. The map size is 2. Okay. But it doesn't change its size. The map changes its size, but the game viewer does not. Why? Okay, so that's fine. I'm just checking. Stupid. Got rid of the need to do that. Okay, and still 1750 by 1750. So go to game view. Game view should get its size when the map gets its size. Let's do x times equal y. So the possibility is that the map size gets changed after get size. The map size gets changed after the map does not have a get size. It's not giving me the default, but the size the map does not have a get size. So let's see, is there some place here where I design this? Okay, so it says scale 1, which it should, no matter what, whether it's working or not. Let's make sure. It's giving me that scale 2. Right, it should be creating the map with this 140, 140. Damn it. So it should do whatever it needs to do with that 140, 140. I'm getting really angry now, actually. Because it should have I'm looking at this map size before it creates the map. The map is where it creates the board, right? I come up here and I look at the map. Where does it create the board when I initialize this? Is there another place? All right, overwrite that board. See, there's nowhere else that I overwrite that board. That's really annoying me a little bit, because there shouldn't be anything where, you know, I'm overwriting the board. I'm not overwriting the board, so the size that gets put in here, which would be this 140, 140, I don't want to sleep on this. This is too banal, right? This part is working, it's just, well, it's not scaling. Is it in the imprint? So, yeah, the scale's fine. It's getting the scale of 2. Now that looks right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now this one, slow as it's going to go, actually, until I broke it, but it made it think it was rescaling. Shouldn't be anything where it does this. I don't want it to fix itself, because I wouldn't know what I did. Okay, there we go. It's all screwed up. So the only thing that I can think of that's changing here is the position. So it's not making the board large enough. And that should be a function of the size of the map. Okay, basically everything works except the size of the stupid viewer. The map is created with the right size. That should be fine, right? But it doesn't change. So I guess we have to wait the entire time through. How fast is that? Board size is 3535. Okay, so that's the problem. The map is sending it the wrong size. Where is that? There's a stupid map. Why is it sending at 3535? Why is it sending at 3535? So the map is created with 140, 140. Right? Map equals map xy. We know what xy is. This doesn't appear elsewhere, right? We've seen that. It's not like we've got two maps being created. So we've got 140, 140. This should be 140, 140. Okay, so and when we make this, right, we have 35 by 2 by 2. So there shouldn't be any monkey business going on with the viewer. It should just be given a size. Right? Oh no, that's not true. The viewer should have the scale so that we can reset it eventually. Let's see. So none of these matter. That's working fine. This is coming out at 35, 35. Or this is not changing. It's coming in at 35, 35. The map gets sent 140, 140. Okay, so the map is created with 140, 140. Print map size. Just check, make sure it's the same thing, right? So map gets the 140 by 140. In there. Now it's actually waiting for all of that stuff. Now the viewer got smaller. How did the viewer get smaller? Did I change the scale? What did I change? Didn't change anything. Oh, I changed the thing in the viewer that was making it larger but not dynamically. Okay, so it was double the size that it needed to be, probably. So, no, well, it couldn't be double the size that it needed to be. This means that the viewer is still seeing the self x, self y. Self x, self y. So, yeah, this doesn't get converted until later. Okay, and we see there's nothing going on. Don't need you anymore. Okay, so let's look at the call, right? Does that number change? Oh, crap. Does that number change somehow? No. no, so that number is not changing. So let's go back to the map. Yeah, I know you're bored. So the map size is 140 by 140. We do game view board size, right? So this number and this number are the same number, right? So we come here and we create this thing, and it's 35. So this is instantaneous, right? It doesn't have any time. Let's just go. Right, that's instantaneous. It's not something strange that happens during map generation, right? Oops, I do not like that. Cancel. Okay. All right. What am I doing? Where am I passing something I don't think I'm passing? Am I not actually passing it the map? Okay. There's the stupid thing, is that I was supposed to pass it the map so they could play with the map. Now it's got the right size. Okay. Another good reason not to hard-code things. So that's a kind of error you get in Python and you don't get in C, but usually it's fine. Let's see how long it takes, right, to move. So I'm going to have to do something about speeding up the movement. That will probably change. I'll probably do something where I imprint the entire map. I want to go leftish. Oh, it's so slow. Yeah. Probably do something where I imprint the entire map and then just uncover the tiles that you can see. Okay, there we go. And look at all of that nice thing. I don't see the error that I was seeing before. Some of those errors where it was overwriting, I'm not seeing. Okay, that's good. So we've made a scaled up map that is centered on your dude. Next we have to figure out how to make the dude larger. So that we have like him taking up a couple of these spaces at once, and then maybe if I have him taking a couple of spaces, you could see like small rats or something. I'm not sure. This might be sufficiently large for that kind of fun. I'm not quite sure. I was thinking about having 3 so that you could have like hordes of little rats, and goblins being slightly smaller and ogres being slightly larger and really big things being really big, right? But like I said, partially because this is taking so long, and partially because I have some other issues with it. I'm not going to do the tile templates. I can worry about those when I actually have styles. We can strike through that. We got it around the center, and we can scale the map up. Although right now it's slow, right? And since it's slow, we want to draw level first. Allow player movement in pre-drawn level. Just because it takes a long time for it to redo all of those little spots. There are ways to improve that speed by pre-compiling certain parts of this. So that has its own issues that I'm not going to deal with that have to do with using something called Cython instead of just Python, where you sort of mix in some declared variables and stuff, and then you can speed things up, because part of what makes Python slow is that you don't declare your variables, right? You get to have your variables be anything. So like when it adds two numbers, it basically goes through all possible additions till it finds the addition that's going to work, right? That takes extra time and stuff like that. So on top of other problems that you have with interpreted languages, you also have that problem. So you have to speed that up at some point. So I will find a way to speed that up, and then we will be all happy people, right? So yeah, I'm going to do it that way, and so that means that when I do LOS will uncover the map. All right, so we'll have to do something with that. So what we'll do is we'll make a map cover, and the map cover will move, right? And the LOS will erase things from that. And as it erases bits and pieces from that, you'll be able to see things under that, right? And I guess we'll have to figure out ways to deal with the objects, right? But we'll worry about that later. I mean, yeah, we'll worry about all that later. Possibly we'll draw the level first, and line of sight will draw on a second piece of stuff, right? And so you'll just have whatever you last saw in that area. So next we want to make the monsters larger, so we make them take up more space. And then when moving, rather than moving one space at a time, it'll move the size of the monster. And then possibly go one space at a time. Another thing that could happen, that would be fine, would be as the player moves, right now it's not a problem. Right now it's going too slow, but if I speed this up, then as the player moves, in every tenth of a second, let's say, the player will move 1/4 of a square. So if he's a 3-sized thing, then it would take, that's probably too long. That would take almost an entire second to move all the way across, but you'll also see all of the other little monsters, hopefully, moving at the same time doing what they're doing, and you'll see where they are and stuff like that. So that would be a fun thing. So hopefully that won't be too much more of a problem, right? All right, well, there we are. We're happy, and let's look at this again sometime, all right?